However, after AIG lost billions of dollars guaranteeing mortgage-related investments, the very existence of the company is now in jeopardy. These wigs are a great example of how globalization works. The hair comes from India, the wigs are manufactured in China, and they're sold right here in the U.S. to a largely African-American population. Dow component General Electric was up more than 4% on an upgrade by investment banking company J.P. Morgan, but it wasn't just the commodities and materials rally that helped spur gains on Wall Street this session. A bit of deal making over the holiday weekend also got investors in a positive mood. The downside is that investors are still heavily flocking to treasury bills, known as safe investments, and where people go when they want to get out of the stock markets. Dubbed the Sheriff of Wall Street, Governor Spitzer first made a name for himself as New York's Attorney General, cracking down on organized crime, financial excesses, and, ironically, prostitution.
You'd have to say that he made a mark taking on Wall Street. For example, he tried to take down the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange, Grasso, which he certainly did.
The details of his transgressions, including paying $1,000 an hour for a high-end prostitute and meeting her at the Mayflower Hotel in Washington, D.C., have New Yorkers riveted. Some are angry.
I think it's pretty reprehensible.
I think it's a sad day for New York and for him.
But on Wall Street, there's a feeling that the man who caused corporate America so much pain is now in personal pain himself.
It's a fitting end. He had a lot of opinions about rights and wrongs, and he clearly was a hypocrite.
Following a short visit to Saudi Arabia, where the president met with King Abdullah, discussing issues such as the Arab-Israeli peace efforts, Iran's nuclear program, and oil prices, he now heads to Egypt, where he will speak to the masses about U.S.-Muslim relations. The White House says they chose Egypt because of its traditional role as the cultural heart of the Middle East. But Cairo plays an important political role as well.
Egypt is considered as one of the main players in the peace process in the Middle East.
A player that will be increasingly important as U.S. efforts to broker a two-state solution between Israel and the Palestinians seem to have stalled.
Many of the towns in southern Lebanon were reduced to rubble after the 2006 war with Israel. The Iranian government gave more than $1 billion to help reconstruct towns like this one, Bin Shebail, and many of the crowds you see here today have simply come to pay their respects.
Packed into a stadium and welting under the sun, supporters cheered and released balloons into the air, while helicopters circled overhead to protect the Shia leader, who spoke in Farsi about the resistance and Palestinians' right to return to their homeland. The French flag was flying, the sun was shining, and the air was brisk as kids held signs to welcome President Sarkozy to the Bush family vacation home. Mr. Sarkozy arrived to friendly territory, though his wife Cecilia was notably absent due to last-minute illness. Between his parents and his wife Laura, the U.S. president offered a hearty welcome to the man he called his friend. The two leaders share similar styles. They both like to exercise and prefer casual meetings over formal ones.
The good thing about President Sarkozy is you know where he stands. He'll tell you exactly what he thinks. And I hope he'd say the same thing about me.